cheap, no-name e-bikes normally do a mechanic's head-in because it's really hard to actually identify parts and get hold of them. We often get people who have brought a bike off like eBikes Direct or something and come in and saying, can you help? I'm like no. So when these guys offered to send us this to a review, I'm like, really? Have you seen the channel? Are you sure you want us to do this? But it turned up. It's got some problems, but we're going to try and give this a fair review, and I think you're going to quite enjoy, and it's going to be quite educational, I think. First thing is, at the moment it is not safe to ride at all, but this video we're going to try and make it safe to ride and then make the argument about something like this compared to something you can get from a mainstream brand and some of the quite cool quirks actually that are involved with a bike like this. But first, let me show you these forks, because this is the only reason this is really unsafe. And these forks flex like crazy. And the second you pull the brakes downhill, this feels absolutely terrifying. I'm not convinced they're safe at all. So what we are going to do, we have spent about another 100 quid on various bits to make this safe. So these are the Suntour NEX forks. It's a 26-inch wheel bike with quick release, which is quite hard to get hold of these days. And because of the ridiculous length of that head tube, we're going to have to install a head tube extender as well to make this fit. So that's going to be all good fun. Because we're fitting this extender, we also need to fit a new stem as well. So we're not talking expensive components here. We have, to replace these paper thin Changwon tyres, we have some Schwalbe Big Bear Plus with some puncture resistance. We also have some Tannis tyre inserts as well, because let's face it, when you have an e-bike like this, you are not repairing a puncture, you are not messing around with all this e-bike motor out on the road. Oh man, there's only one. Thought these come as a pair. Oh no. So this is the Tannis Armour, and we quite like this because it actually wraps around the sidewall as well and gives you some properly good protection. I mean, that is thick, and you can run these flat as well. So if you do get a flat, you can just keep riding and deal with it, take it to a bike shop during your lunch break or whatever. So yeah, I think these are probably the best puncture protection for like urban style riding there is out there at the moment. And yeah, one piece, there's no cutting or anything, it just goes straight in the tyre like that. We also managed to pick up a proper D-lock and even got some rather cute little panniers to go on this included seat rack. So I think 1,100 quid, we might be able to make a case for making this still 600 or 700 quid cheaper than the giant bike equivalent, probably maybe even being a little bit better. Let's get stuck in and see what we can turn this thing into. So this is a bit of a problem, but it's okay, we've got a solution. These tyres are like wafer thin. Chow you. I don't think they would stand a chance on British roads. Look at that, we're done. These tyres were never going to do you anything. They're so paper thin, they were just rubbish. We've now got the Schwalbe Marathon Plus on there. We've got the puncture resistance in the back tyre because I forgot to buy two. And yeah, we've got the panniers on. Looks pretty cool. You were never going to change a puncture out on the road. It's like two 18mm bolts on there. You need a set of cable cutters. It was a real fiddle. So I'm really glad that we made that puncture proof at the back there. So let's go and take it for a spin. These forks are so much better. Like that's taking up all that wobble. Do you know what's a bit of a shame is because this frame is such a nice finish. If they just made forks rigid out of this same aluminium, I'd be much happier with that. There we go. There is really only one thing we can do with these forks. I mean, look at the like, I don't even understand why someone bothered to actually put them together. What an absolute waste of time. All I can say is, thank God for metal recycling. With all that done, we're going to have to take this for some kind of a test ride. So I'm going to take you on a tour of some of my favourite businesses here in Kendal, and I'm going to try and take it up Beast Banks, which is where the 2018 Tour of Britain finished, with a remarkable uphill sprint on like a 20% hill. Let's see what it can do. Mode, of course. Here we go. First stop, this is Podder and Wren Coffee Roasters, one of my favourite coffee roasters now. Getting here, I can tell you that this bike becomes a lead weight after about 25 kph. It's almost impossible to make it go any faster. Anyway, if you do find yourself in Kendal, come and check these guys out. They do a fantastic coffee called Fazenda Bon Jesus. Don't know if you can see that, but sadly they're closed, which is a shame because I've got my panniers on my bike and everything, and I was hoping to fill it up with coffee, but I guess it is Easter bank holiday after all. Next up, this is Roast Mutton, one of the best butchers I've ever come across. So genuine. Follow him on Facebook. He'll often go out to the farms and tell you about the meat he selected to have in the butchers here. On my way here, I've discovered this bike with its bonkers steep head angle and everything else. It is so easy for manoeuvring around. You can literally stand on the spot and like walk your bike around in a circle. It's a pretty cool feature. Anyway, let's have a look in the window, see what they've got. Dry aged steak in the butchers. If you ever come here, these guys really know what they're talking about when it comes to meat. This is the bakery at number 4, one of the best places to get a fantastic slab of home baked cake. Sit down, be creative, make some notes, get some work done, that sort of thing. So this e-bike is fantastic at getting through the back alleys of like Kendal and little towns and centres. They're so easy just to bump it up and down curbs and just get around town basically. Let's go. This is my barber's Ed's, actually run by 2 women, Lou and Katie, who are amazing business mentors, relationship counsellors, you name it. It's a great fun place to come and get your hair cut. This is what this bike was made for, like cruising up and down the cycle paths of your local town really. It's absolute dreams. It just gets you from point A to point B actually really quickly. It's got like a weird little acceleration lag, more than I'd recognise from other e-bikes. That first little kick in takes a bit more time than I recognise from like a Bosch or Fazua motor. But once it gets going, it gets going. It's just that little kick getting away from traffic lights and stuff that it perhaps lacks. It's not a problem, it's just different, I suppose. It's actually been so long since I've used Shimano Tawny that I've forgotten how much I like it. It's like one of the most robust shifters I think I know. Look at that, amazing. This is Beast Banks, and the poor thing is definitely struggling to do much above 11 kph. And I'm putting in quite a lot of effort to get up this. It did it though. This was the finish line of the 2018 Tour of Britain. I was there at the finish line. It was an absolutely epic finish. Can't remember if it was Wout van Aert or Van der Poel that won it, but it was an absolutely epic sprint finish. But it's taken me 2 full bars of battery to get up there. So if you live somewhere hilly, maybe this isn't the bike for you. It's just really, really heavy, and which kind of hampers its kind of acceleration and just lacking a bit of torque, to be honest. But if you live somewhere flat, I've been so impressed by just how manoeuvrable it is. So, would I buy a disposable e-bike? And I do mean disposable because you can't buy spare parts for this. You know, all the normal mechanical parts, yes, they're readily available everywhere. The Shimano Tawny, the BSA bottom bracket, the wheels. But the e-bike components, Got no idea who makes those or where to get spares from. The ENGWE website definitely does not list a spare battery, a spare display, a spare speed controller, a spare cadence sensor. So if those components break, I don't know where to get one from. I doubt that ENGWE would sell me one. If they did, they'd have it on their website readily available to show, hey, look, you can get spares. I'd imagine that these got built and that was it, forgotten about. So the 12-month warranty, if they need to call it in, you'd probably just send you a new one and take the hit, I'd imagine. It's kind of frustrating. If you spent more, let's say you went to Giant, Cube or whoever and brought one of their e-bike offerings in this category around the £1,700, £1,800 mark, I don't think it's going to be that much better. We've definitely had problems getting those proprietary parts just as much as we've had problems getting these, even going through Giant and Cube dealers, etc. So you get another year's warranty, whether that's worth the £500, £600 more, I don't know. I think the thing is, you've got to think about these as being a convenience type product that definitely has some shelf life to it. See, this is £100 a month expense for having the convenience of nipping into town, and whether that equation adds up for you is going to vary a lot on your lifestyle. Parking is definitely getting very expensive, and spending hours just sat in traffic is getting really, really inconvenient. So something like this, being able to use it might just be something quite useful to you. I don't know. And if it is, then I do quite like the design of this, I have to say. I like the fact there's no small, medium, large, extra large size. It's the shape of the frame means that pretty much anyone can get on it. And we've tried that. We've literally had, you know, tiny 4-foot something people on this, and people taller than me get on it as well. And we've been absolutely fine riding it, just putting the seat up and down. It's quite a convenient geometry. I love the fact that quite the short wheelbase and the steep head angle means you can literally turn it around in the smallest parts. So if you're stuck in some weird like bike park type thing, it's really easy to sort of maneuver and sort of manipulate around the shopping centre and that sort of thing. There's plenty powerful enough. It'd probably be nice if you're going a little bit faster, but I kind of get that. In the UK, it's all pretty restricted. They do some faster ones. I have to admit, seeing the build quality of those forks, I'd be terrified. In fact, ENGWE actually makes some bonkers things. I'm going to put some pictures up because these things are blowing my mind as to like how inventive and wacky they are. Look quite a lot of fun, to be honest, but yeah, they're not legal on the UK roads, so let's not worry about that. So yeah, there we go. There is my conclusion. I think if you need an e-bike around £1,000, £1,200, and you're happy to make some modifications, take a look. They've got some promotions running now. They've asked me to put some links down below. I have to say thanks to ENGWE. You were very, very brave sending me this, and I hope that you guys have not seen just an advert, but a fair review on what you might expect from getting into the budget e-bike market. Okay, I think that's all I have to say. Looking forward to your comments as always.